Hi everyone, it's Kasia from Tarot Map, and I'm joining the beautiful Veronica Rose and her tag about our inner stories. I have actually done that yesterday evening because I saw a few videos and I thought, wow, that's pretty cool tag, and I want to check it out. And to be honest, I'm still kind of thinking about this one. I used Margaret Peterson Tarot for this tag, and it has 5 questions. So the first question is Prologue: what inner story needs exploring? For this one I got 4 of Swords or 4 of Feathers. So you can see there is like a lying person here. It's quite a peaceful card. The feathers are above her. There are mountains in the background. It's all blue, so you've got this mental kind of sword-like energy going on. To me, when I checked, because I love using this booklet, so definitely usually 4 of Swords for me, it's going within and really withdraw from too much action and solving some, because 4 comes after 2 of Swords, after 3 of Swords, so 4 is like a deep breath, and it's a time for me usually to solve or resolve some internal conflict that's going on within me. But I was always drawn to this figure lying on the ground or within the mountain, you never know. And I noticed that I keep telling myself a lot that I don't do too much, that I constantly lie and watch videos, or like I'm not active enough, that I don't stretch my body, that I don't do enough. But at the same time, I'm noticing the opposite is the reality, that I do a lot, and especially a lot of mental activity that leads sometimes to me being really tired from, I do a lot of videos, I run like 3 pages, I do IG, I run courses, I do readings for people. So it's like I do a lot, but at the same time, because I love my job, I find it hard to distinguish when I actually rest, because resting to me is also playing with tarot cards, and I do some creative work. So I think the story here is more, am I actually in need of more rest, but like proper rest? Or am I in need of more movement, more physical movement? And I think kind of both of them are a little bit true. In Margaret Peterson Tarot, this card speaks also about breathing and noticing how your breath goes in and goes out. So being mindful of your breath, and that usually leads to relaxation or to awareness of what's happening with your body, with your mind at the present moment. So how I see this as my inner story, it's more like an invitation to actually rest when I rest, and work when I work, move when I need to move, and withdraw when I need to withdraw, without feeling guilty and constantly trying to feel that space when I have space with action or thinking about doing something. Then the second question is about the backstory. So how, when, and why did the inner story started? And I got Strength. It's a beautiful card. I was constantly drawn, first of all, to the dragon or the creature here, and also to her belly. And here I thought that it started somehow with me losing balance and touch with my body. To me, Strength is always a card of a proper balance between mental and physical. So here I might be spending, or I'm telling myself that I'm spending too much time in my head, or I might need rest actually, but because I lost at some point touch with my, first of all, also inner cycles, but especially touch with my body and between my body and my mind, my spirit, then there is some form of imbalance in that. And I think so how, when and why, maybe it was around 8 or 11 months ago, if I look at the strength, which is usually 8 or 11. In Margaret Peterson it has no number, which is awesome. But definitely, you know, like a few moon cycles back, maybe there was about losing my center, and the card is encouraging me to come back to my center. It's a lot of red, so it speaks of also Muladhara, so base chakra, and about awakening fire element. So here, if I'm upset with myself that I spend too much time lying, then this card shows that maybe I did lose a little bit of my inner fire and that balance of strength, physical strength, and my body awareness, it's a little bit weakened. So it's also encouraging me to come back to that center and start maybe moving and working with my body more, so I can really find the peaceful mind in the peaceful and balanced body. And so it could be also because it's about base chakra, about you know, feeling safe, about belonging, about my roots. So maybe the reason stems from some biological stuff. Maybe it's some generational thing. I have to think about it. But that was the second question. So some physical imbalance, physical and mental imbalance. So we need to bring those two to like into the harmony. And then the third question was, what impact has the story had on your life? And I pulled Empress. And here I wrote, first of all, like what comes to mind when I see Empress, and it's kind of like this womb. But that wouldn't go with 8 or 11 months. That would go much earlier, but that would be that I wasn't able to be a mother, which I wanted to be, but it just didn't happen to me. In some way, maybe I did feel disempowered for a while, you know, because it's always like you cannot create that which you want. At some point also I thought maybe, you know, some feminine kind of some feminine disempowerment, which goes nicely with that card here. So maybe I did have to go through so this is how this impacted my life, yeah, what impact it had on my life. Also, Empress is about embodiment and creative energy. I do feel creative, and I think, like, you know, in some ways I did go through that process of healing, and that might be still the residue of the story, which was present and maybe in some ways still is. But it's about feeling full embodiment through my body, through my sexuality, through my feminine aspects on this earth. And she's very naked and open and flexible also. Like, I hate that position. In general, like stretching my legs wide, that's like my least favorite. So this connects to the liver through meridians, and also to, you know, being flexible in the body. So on the very physical surface, that I think speaks to me telling myself how upset I am of not doing any body work right now. You know, I go through different stages. Obviously, it's not about my whole life, but recently I do have in my mind that thought of like, you need to move, but I'm not moving, and I resist moving, you know, I resist going to yoga, I resist to stretching even by myself at home. So there's just definitely some blockage going on. And body language, very important. So just being aware of the body with these two cards, very important. And I could feel like, you know, disconnected from the source. So in a way, I'm encouraged to reconnect with my source, with my center, with my feminine, sacred feminine body, and that in some way will probably awaken also my creativity even more. I do feel creative, I don't feel blocked, but that's like source of power of the body. And then the fourth question is, what's the most effective way to challenge the story? And the answer is simple, just bloody hell move. So here you have Ace of Flames. We see this burst of fire, that, you know, that energy, that movement, that like vitality and strength. So that goes nicely with that card, which was how, when, and why did my inner story start. So at some point, maybe I kind of like with my mental activity, I kind of weakened my fire, you know, in my belly and in my base chakra. So now effective way to challenge this story is to ignite that fire a little bit more. And this is encouraging me to take an active approach, to move. You know, I used to run hula hoop classes. I used to move all the time. I used to dance. And right now, yeah, I'm just having resistance towards this. So in a way, cards asked me to kind of start moving and then maybe check if I'm still resistant, because I love dancing and I love hula hoop. I didn't love yoga because I'm not very flexible person in my body, so it's usually like takes a long time for me to get into it. But I used to go to yoga for a long time, like over years, and I noticed, you know, how much I felt stronger within myself, and I love discipline like this, but I'm so resistant. So this active approach and waking up my fire a little bit, especially for this winter time that it's coming, it will definitely spark my growth, and, you know, like this dynamic growth. It will be organic. I wouldn't have to like really try hard to think about it. It's more about just igniting that doing. Ace of Flames could also on physical level be about good digestion, you know, movement, energy, transformation of food, sexuality, also physical strength and bodily expression as well. And this like is like this force blasting through boundaries, through frames. So maybe it's a force which will be blasting through my resistance to movement. And also that which has been gathered, incubated, heated, concentrated, like in the Four of Swords, which is also about concentration of mental energy. So I might come to a point when I'm will be so like sure of what I have to do with that fire, that that fire will just break through this resistance and wake me up, and then I will really come back to that center. And so the past, future have been burned, and present is what counts. And being present and aware and making instant decisions. So not like overthinking or, you know, stopping myself. And how will changing this story, if I go with the Ace of Flames, affect me in the future? And I got Seven of Cups, so I don't know if you can see, but there is like a face, eye, nose, lips. There's a face of what looks like an old wise man. There is a ship with people. There's another boat with people. So things are moving, but at the same time, like this wise face is like observing the movement. Seven of Cups, it's about fluidity. So I think that's where this flexibility will come in, of the body, but also of the mind. Because it's cups, on physical level, it speaks about stronger blood, you know, about fluids in my body. So things will circulate better. Could be menstrual blood, but also it speaks about stronger intuition, about my dreams, renewal of the body through that better circulation, about, you know, watching also. This man is watchful because I could face also some delusions, so illusions and delusions. So how what's real and what's not real. It's a little bit like moving through dream dream world, so also about creative thinking and believing. And let go of the details and observe everything at once is the one of the advice from the book. And observing my desires. So what do I desire? And I think this is, opposition, water and fire. So keeping that in balance also, as the strength suggests. And then the Empress, finding my empowerment and embodiment. And then I can really rest when I rest and work when I work without feeling guilty when I rest, or feeling guilty when I rest and work, because I cannot find the difference between these two. And I think going back to the physical body, as these cards suggest, and actually moving will help me to have clear mind, because when I stick only to the mental, it's just way too blue. You get a little bit depressed, you get, tired from thinking, and you really need a break and need rest. So I don't know if this kind of went on a tangent and a little bit away from the spread, but that's how I felt about these cards. And I wanted to show you the ones that I left for grabs. So this one comes with Baltic Amber. I added like a little shell here, and this is like, that sun, the inner strength, with that blackness also, so that womb energy, and the red dot for that empowerment. So this is a little kind of empowering tool, could be used for altar work, or just when you need a little bit boost, because Baltic Amber in Poland, it's a very widely used stone or resin for good digestion, for strength. It's good luck. We used to deal with amber, used to be our gold, like our money. It's genuine Baltic amber. It comes from the Baltic Sea, because there is a lot of young amber out there. The Baltic amber is much more pricey. And then there is this beautiful tool which I love. I painted like a receptive symbol for the amethyst when you receive kind of messages, and then the active one for the tangerine quartz, which is here, like a little tangerine quartz. And then the branch has also some crustaceans on it, and I think it went through some fire as well. I found it on the beach on the Baltic Sea, but so it has some water element, but to me it's always about tuning in and first downloading what needs to be done, and then like act upon it. So always the purple and the yellow or the orange, that's the creative, or being creative upon the whispers of your spirit. And this one was inspired by Weaver's Oracle, and it's got this beautiful garden quartz, which has like a universe inside. I found some ship wool, so it's like a fur of a ship, and little feathers that I found in the forest at some point. And this is like hand, it's a linen, but it's hand, or cotton, but hand painted, like hand colored through plants. I got it from my sister from Australia. She hand colored it, and I added 2 moons, the dark moon and the white moon. And this branch is really amazing. That's like a nosy one, so it feels quite wise, crown-like. I think it will be great for like support during maybe magic rituals, but also during hard times, inspiring creativity. If you look into this quartz, you kind of get those insights of galaxies and expansion of thinking, and the branch itself just feels wise and very kind of, I don't know, like crown like, so it could be that like wise friend that you work with when you need a decision to make, or empower yourself, or ground yourself. Feels quite grounding too. And then the last one I call sickle, because it's naturally shaped that way. I actually found this amazing stone in the mountains when I went to the river. It was a little stream. It's really cool shaped, and I added 2 skulls, they bone skulls, and 2 little crow feathers. and the branch is amazing. It's got all this growth, and I don't know, it just feels like doing this. So if you ever want to, like, you know, clean off or clear off your stuck energy, stagnant energy, cut off some energetic cords, I have a feeling this is a great tool for that. So this batch was a bit different. I got some my new skulls from, sorry, got some new skulls from Manos Skulls. It's Evo's site, and so you probably have seen my moss. She's my ancestral skull. She looks like this Mongolian ancient skulls. There's Alchemy. It's really bad lighting, but she's like a calcite skull. I just love her. Look at her face. And then I got Goma. That's a traveling stone. It's a turquoise skull. So cute. I'm working with this one, and my like soul skull. I call it Seer. It's a whistling alien skull, but it's got this huge eyes, and it's an actually beryl aquamarine, piece of aquamarine. So this is my favorite skull to work with right now. I'm actually going to make a special a special department as this series will overlook. It will be for readings and for just working with my intuition. Sometimes I feel like making this like what you're whistling. So somehow these wands were inspired by the skulls and also by Weaver's Oracle, which I work deeply with as well, and I really feel deeply connected to. So just saying goodbye. Thanks for watching. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, just write me a message and I will link the page to Evo's shop on Etsy, and also a link to video by Veronica Rose about this tag. Thanks, Veronica, for organizing it, and thank you for watching, guys. Bye.